Navigating your timeline in Premiere Pro can be pretty frustrating if you don't know how everything works. So in this video, I will show you how I work faster and cleaner using a few essential techniques. The first step to a clean timeline is organizing your workspace. If you're using multiple monitors, put your program monitor on a separate screen. That immediately frees up space for your timeline. If you're on a single monitor, just temporarily resize the program monitor and all other panels. Move unnecessary panels up and keep them as small as possible. Now that you have much more room to work with, here are 4 shortcuts I use constantly. The tilde button maximizes whatever window you have selected under your cursor. This key is usually under escape or next to your left shift, depending on your keyboard. Shift plus dash collapses all tracks and shift plus equals expands all tracks. The backslash button zooms your timeline to fit the entire sequence horizontally. Scrolling your mouse wheel moves horizontally through the timeline. Alt plus scroll zooms towards your cursor. If you want to zoom towards your playhead, use the dash and equals buttons. To scroll vertically through video or audio tracks, place your cursor on top of them, then hold Ctrl and scroll. You can also drag the scroll bars on the outside of the timeline window, but I don't find these very useful. You can also resize the tracks by using these. You can do the same thing by holding Shift and scrolling while holding your cursor above the tracks. Holding Alt while scrolling lets you resize a single track. Double-clicking on a track expands or minimizes it to a preset size. But this behaves differently than the global expand or collapse shortcuts. A clean timeline is much easier and more efficient to work in. Try to use the minimum number of tracks possible. If you have a lot of clips, text layers and effects stacked on top of each other, then nest them. For larger projects, I strongly recommend doing your audio mix in Audition and exporting the final mix back to Premiere Pro. This way, you only have one track. To clean up empty tracks, right-click in the timeline and choose Delete Tracks. You can remove all empty audio and video tracks in one click. I use this process all of the time, so I even mapped it to a custom shortcut. Using shortcuts to navigate between your clips will make you a much faster editor. Home goes to the very start of your timeline and end goes to the end. Page up and page down jump left or right depending on your zoom level. Use the up and down arrow keys to jump between the start and end of clips on the same track. Shift plus arrows jumps between clips of all tracks, and Ctrl plus arrows jumps only between clips on the track of your selected clip. Additionally, you can place markers on your timeline by pressing the M shortcut, and you can navigate between these by using Shift M and Ctrl Shift M. To remove them, press Ctrl Alt Shift M.